For the sake of argument, let's say that you and your spouse are very, very mad at your family. Now, your family had recently sprung for a $30 million wedding for you to marry a woman about whom they had reservations, but you insisted you were in love, so they all fell in line to support your wishes. They went all out. Your grandmother lent your bride a priceless family heirloom tiara to wear on the day. Your brother stood by your side as your best man. Your father even walked the woman down the aisle. And the family gave you both a beautiful house to live in and spent another couple of million to renovate it to your specifications. Your family even brought your new wife into the family business, in spite of the fact that she had no experience in their industry and she didn't seem very interested in talking to the other executives in your organization to help her learn how to do the job. Your family gave her a position with a title, a staff of 14 to help her do her job, and $500,000 in just her first year to enhance her wardrobe so she'd look good while she worked. Talk about an open-armed welcome. But there were rules your new wife had to follow. The family had been in business for a very, very long time, and they'd been successful for hundreds of years. While they were open to change, indeed the business had evolved over time from a completely top-down operation. They knew that change had to be implemented slowly and thoughtfully, innovating while honoring tradition. Your wife, however, chafed at the rules. She believed she had a better way of going about the job. Slow and steady, bringing a whole multinational consumer base along with you as you adapted the organization to changing times was not something that sat well with her. She wanted to hit the ground running, and she believed if she ran fast enough, the rest of the company would just fall in line right behind her, just to keep up. The problem was she really didn't know where she was going. So she decided to go somewhere else. She didn't want to work in the family business any longer. She wanted to do her own thing, earn her own money, and with very little notice to your family, the two of you quit your jobs and moved away. But you had worked for your family your whole life long, which might explain why you didn't understand that if you weren't actually going to do any work, you weren't going to continue to be paid. But it really doesn't explain why she didn't understand that. Still, neither of you wanted the job in the family firm, but you did want to keep the perks that came with it. The paychecks, the titles, the beautiful house, in case you ever wanted to use it, it would be there waiting for you. But the family said, no works, no perks. And that really pissed you off. So you started talking shit about them. You claimed your stepmother advanced her career only because she stepped over you. You repeated confidential conversations with your father. You called your brother a circumcised baldy. You told anyone who would listen that the family was just a bunch of cold-hearted, set-in-their-ways racists. But now you've got all that off your chest. You think it's time to have a peace talk with your father, patch things up. Back in the day, Fergie wrote in a book that Diana was generous by giving her all her shoes, and, less happily, she also gave Fergie her plantar warts. In response, Diana, infuriated, cut Fergie out of her life for plantar warts, which apparently Diana actually had. But those were gentler days. Back then, perhaps we were all more easily infuriated. Back then, for example, you were disqualified from running for president because you couldn't spell potato. These days you can commit treason and still vie for the nomination of a major political party. But the burning question is, would you make peace with a family member who spread it all over town that you'd stabbed him in the back? Who discussed the state of your penis with strangers? Who claimed to the whole world that you were a racist? Put yourself in Harry's shoes. Would you even have the nerve to call for peace talks? I mean, before you'd crawled from Frogmore Cottage to Buckingham Palace on your knees begging for forgiveness? If you like what we're doing at the Authentig, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment too. We're eager to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching.